What's up, Internet? It's your favorite player's favorite podcast, Gaming Gab, and I don't know what I want to talk about. I'm, I'm still kind of reeling about this whole MK1 thing, and got me with the old red. And I feel like it's so deserved if it's true, but at the same time, I kind of don't want it to be true. Hey, Support Gaming, what's going on? I was just talking about how I feel like MK1 is deserving of the misfortune that's happening, but at the same time, I don't want the misfortune to happen. I kind of want the game to. I want to see if they can turn the game into something better the way Street Fighter V did. Street Fighter V launched in an absolutely horrendous state. Terrible. I think they didn't even have. I think they also didn't have lobbies. If I'm correct, they. I know that they didn't have anything other than like. They didn't even have a tournament mode, like a arcade ladder rather. It was just like a challenge tower, something similar to that. And I think they didn't have character endings. Like they didn't have a lot of stuff when Street Fighter V launched. It was not good. Wait, so it's true? It's canceled? So no one knows for sure if it's canceled. And anyone who's telling you they know, I mean, if they're not from NetherRealm, then they really don't know. Everyone is just speculating based on the leak. Only NetherRealm, Ed Boon, WB, and the Elder Gods themselves know for sure if it's true. But just missed it. But Billy Loomis.
Now that's just embarrassing.
But I will say that the rumor, the person who did the leak, Fate Unknown, I know a lot of people are saying that he's credible, and that's putting it lightly, because every single thing that he said came true, regardless of how much in advance he said it. I think he was the leaker that told people that Shao would be in this game, but he would be a general, and he would not have a hammer. He would use an axe, and a whole bunch of other stuff that there's no way he would have known unless he has ties to NetherRealm. He has to have ties to NetherRealm. There's no, or he knows someone who has ties to NetherRealm. So, yeah, it's looking bad because of who it's coming from. Support, you say most everyone believes it's true because the Fate dude has always been right about the past leaks. Exactly. Not only has he been right, he's been dead on every single time. So it's I mean it's not good, is what I'm trying to say, because of who it's coming from. But if that's the case, man, it's just so sad, because I feel like NRS possibly could turn it around, but I don't know. And I was thinking about this recently too, about like the difference between MK11 and MK1. Excuse me. The difference between MK11 and MK1, and I feel like MK11, it made a ton of money. Whereas MK1 isn't even really given the opportunity. Oh, sorry, you guys. Hold on. Let me just fix this. Okay. It isn't even really given the opportunity But I feel like MK1 is a better fighting game experience. But what MK11 did right was just everything else. Everything else was just so much more polished. And I just feel like MK1 couldn't get to that level of polish, and I really wish that they had the opportunity to do so. Destroy targets in numerical order before time expires. Wait, what's the order? Ouch, okay. Okay, I don't know. Oh, yeah, what's happening here? Okay, clearly I don't know what to do. Alright. Oh, okay, so which one is one? Is it that one? Okay, clearly I lose. Oh, man, but yeah, MK1, like, I feel like Invasions could have been more fun. So I was listening to something by, oh gosh, I was listening to Tom Brady, and he was talking about how, one, where's two? What? I see, oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay. I have to destroy. I thought I was destroying the saws. They'll end up rebooting MK again. Call it MK0? Let's hope not. I don't think that's the route they're gonna go in. Oh, gosh. Terrible. Ah. He's so not agile. Look at this. Oh gosh, this is terrible. This is ridiculous. They will probably end up rebooting again just because I think the right way to go. I can't even take a step forward. It's nuts. How did I jump over this before? Oh man, okay. No. Okay, one is destroyed. I can jump in. 2, 3. Oh, boy, I'm gonna run out of time. 4, 5. Okay, thank you. They're gonna probably end up rebooting the universe, which that's another thing that makes me sad because I kind of like this new era story-wise, and I would like to see where they were gonna go with it as far as the plot goes, but I think too many people dislike too many things about it. You see a lot of people talk about how they don't want the multiverse stuff. We don't want all this stupid multiverse. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Multiverse. And I feel like it's not, with most things of MK1, it's not what people are upset about. What the things that people are upset about are not the problem. It's just how that thing is being presented, because when you look at what's the movie? I keep wanting to say Daredevil, but it's not Daredevil. Deadpool. You look at Deadpool and Wolverine, that's multiverse stuff, and that movie did gangbusters. And it's not because it's multiverse or not multiverse. It's strictly because of the presentation. Okay, there we go. Was really looking forward to General Shao War against Melina and Onaga's rise. You and I both. I really wanted to see how that would play out. There's a couple different storylines that I wanted to see play out. I wanted to see what Shang was going to do with his island. Was he going to basically enact the Mortal Kombat tournament and have it on his island? What is Quan Chi going to do? There's still the issue of Rain and how he's like a sympathetic criminal in a sense. I would like to see where that would go. And I had a theory that the story was going to go into creating the Mortal Kombat tournament to possibly keep timelines from merging with other timelines, because when you look at the original MK tournament, it prevented realms from merging, but in this universe, timelines are merging with each other, or trying to anyway. We saw Shang saying that he wanted to do that, and in Chaos Reigns, you see all of the other timelines that he merged into his own. When we saw all those dead Geras characters, there were like 100 of them. It was like so many Geras characters that he abducted and killed from other timelines that he merged with his own. So I was thinking maybe they were going to do something like that. That's how we could get back to the Mortal Kombat tournament. But yeah, there's also the issue of Onaga and General Shao, and I feel like that kind of grounded story with General Shao trying to usurp the throne and get an army, like that's pretty interesting to me. How is Melina gonna deal with the Tarkat issue? Like, I feel like all of this stuff could really go, like, come together to be a pretty interesting story. Like most people, I did not like when we got too much from different timelines. Like, if it was just Shang's timeline and Liu Kang's timeline, I'd be on board for that. But the fact that there's 100 different timelines, I thought that was maybe going a bit too far. But even still, if they were able to bring it to kind of rein in the story and have it be a more grounded, how am I getting beat up here? A more grounded story, then I think I would totally be on board for what happens next. But we'll see. Oh, support, oh, that was close. Support says, Liu Kang's new era already mirrors the old timeline. The setup was there. In old lore, MK Tournament was a fair competition, and Shang Tsung corrupted it into a bloodbath. Yeah, well, I believe the fair competition was the Shaolin tournament that he took over and then made it the Mortal Kombat tournament. But yes, in a sense, you're absolutely right. Ooh. Oh, I should have just jumped. I should have just neutral jumped. But yes, the setup is there, and I just don't know why I don't know. But you know what? I mean, time will tell if it's really gone or not. But if so, it would be such a shame, because I feel like there's a lot of promise with this story, and I feel that people are going to... Oh, that's not good. I feel that if NetherRealm does learn their lesson, I don't trust that they're going to learn the correct lesson. I think what they're going to do is just, let's go back to what sold the most. Let's just go back to what did the best, and we're not going to take any more risks story-wise. We're just going to give them the same old story that they've seen before and just do it again, because that's what they'll accept. We'll just have the same old characters doing the same old things and not mix anything up. And I don't feel like that's the issue. Like, those are not that, like, those issues are not what is making people upset with MK1. I think that's what people are saying in forums, and people may even think that, but I think it's just the lack of modes, the lack of polish. Like, when you look at MK11, even when you look at MKX with the crypt, like, I feel like why the crypt was more favored over even invasions is just the interaction ability of it. There's much more interaction, like with invasions. So it's typically, how can I put it? It's typically an arcade ladder on a grid is what Invasions is. But ooh. But there's no interaction. Oh gosh, I'm already starting off terribly. There's no interaction at all. You can't talk to any characters or interact with anything really, other than just walking around and getting into fights. And I don't feel like that's what people really want. Like when you look at MK11, MK11's crypt, we're in the same position as we were last time. At least you can go around and like, oh, man, remember when they didn't do this enough in the crypt in MK11, but at least there was some of it here, where you can go around and you can find like certain things where Shang would talk to you, like where you first go to Goro's lair and talk, and he has a little thing about Goro, and it was really cool because it showed insight about what the relationship between Shang and Goro was. Insight that we wouldn't have known otherwise. And I feel like it's little things like that that we don't have in Invasions, and it makes it feel less fulfilling. Like, it just makes it feel more bland. There's no characters to interact with. There's no one to talk to. It's just a map. It's just a game board. And I feel like that's the main issue, especially with Mortal Kombat, where they're known for putting in a bunch of Easter eggs and making things just feel, I don't know, feel more immersive. Like, it looks great. Like, look at this. This looks fantastic. But I can't go into any of these houses. I can't talk to any of the people. I can't find items or relics that are relevant to the Mortal Kombat story. It's just stuff relevant to the actual board game. And I feel like that's an issue on how just the mode feels. But I don't know. What do I know? Oh, support. Support says, only thing with MK1 story I wish was different is that King Jared should have been alive from the start. Ermac should have came around later on. I wanted to see what his rule with Sindel was like. That would have been cool, especially because we hear that like he was friends with like Liu Kang and him were friends. So seeing how he would govern and their relationship goes, that would be cool. I didn't even think about that. And then we can possibly see, like, maybe like even his death is a mystery, and maybe we don't even find out how his death happened in this game. But the fact that we got to know the character and possibly like the character, and then we see him die, that would have been really cool, actually. Now that you mention that. And then, yes, and then we can have him become part of Ermac and do that whole story. All of that can stay the same, but just getting to know the character, making him be endearing to us, and then have him die, I think would be really great. That would be cool. But, I don't know. Instead, we got a whole thing with Johnny Cage, like, on a movie set. Ay, ay, ay. I don't know. But all the characters are just, man, just so well done. And, like, Ashura, I want to see more of Ashura. I want to see more of Reptile. And Baraka, I feel like Baraka is probably, I mean, to be fair, they've really been doing great stuff with Baraka since MK11. They really made Baraka seem more important than ever. He's always been like a jobber, but like when you hear Shiva say there's no path to victory that does not involve the Tarkatans being on your side, that really put a lot of respect on Baraka's name, and the Tarkatans only go where Baraka lead them. So I feel like they've been taking steps to make Baraka a more important character, and I really dig that. Jared and Sindel could have hosted the tournament in Raiden's chapter. Yeah, and oh man, another glaring thing is Raiden. I want to see more of Raiden. I really felt like Raiden was going to be the Liu Kang of this game. Like, we're going to see things through his perspective. He's the champion. And that he would eventually be the hero. But instead, he wasn't the hero. It was Liu Kang again. Like, and I felt like his arc ended too soon. I felt like his arc was just beating Kung Lao because he had never beat Kung Lao before. And that's it. His whole story arc was finally being able to beat Kung Lao, and I don't know, that's lame. But yeah, Raiden really should have been the main character. We should have gotten, and I know they want in the story mode they want to give you some of everybody, where you're using some of everyone, but I feel like it should have started with you using Raiden, and it should have ended with you using Raiden. Where in the story, Raiden finally gets over his insecurities and becomes the hero. Liu Kang didn't need to be. Liu Kang has been the hero since since the 90s. Like, we didn't need him to lead, to win again against the big bad guy, but it would have been cool to see Raiden's ascent into being a hero. But yeah, I feel like there's so many of the characters that I wish that we could see more of. I feel like the bad guys, they could have been more of a threat. Obviously we did get to spend some time with Bihan, especially in Chaos Reigns, kind of. You get some more insight on Bihan. But like Reiko and who are the bad guys? Like, I feel like the bad guys are not really that great in this game. Natara, General Shao is great though, like you mentioned. I think Reiko is cool as a villain. Who else is there? Rain is kind of like a tweener, like he's kind of a villain, but he's sympathetic. I think there's something there that they could go with, and they just don't. I saw fan art post on Reddit that depicted a human version of Shinnok in the new era before he becomes a god. Really? I mean, I feel like Liu Kang would have definitely done something to depose Shinnok to make sure he doesn't become an Elder God. So him as a human would make sense. I could see that. Okay, well, my headcanon for MK1 story ending is that Raiden is the canon character we play as to help Liu Kang defeat Titan Shang. Titan Shang. Raiden Arcade is the only ending to carry over from the pyramid fight. Is it? Okay. Interesting. I just feel like as a story, like as a like just crafting a story, it just makes sense to have it be Raiden. So in my head, I feel it's the same way. Raiden should be the one that helped you at the end, and I really feel like I really wish that they made it more definitive that yeah, you could use any character you want, but story-wise, Raiden is the one that stepped up, and it was him and Liu Kang that beats Shang Tsung. I kind of like that idea. So I'm with you on that support. 100%. But then I mean, I guess Chaos Reigns, they want to make it the story of the brothers of Bihan and Kuai Liang, but I don't know. I feel like if we're making Raiden the main character, then he should have at least a little bit more agency than he did in Chaos Reigns. He doesn't have to be maybe the main hero again, but I don't know, have him be more, have more importance in some way. But I don't know. I'm trying to think who else are villains in this game that are actually villains. Just like Shang, Shao, Quan Chi, Reiko, Rain. Is that it? Are those the only storyline villains on the roster? That seems lopsided. Oh, Sub-Zero, I guess. Sub-Zero would make 6. And I think that might be it. Which may be why they're so gung ho on like the alternate versions of characters, because so many characters in this game are good guys. And they need fodder, so it's like we just need you to beat people up in this chapter. So here's a bad version of Kitana, and here's a bad version of Reptile. Okay, support. You say a big part of Raiden's story in MK1 should have been Fujin. Really? Since in the lore they are supposed to be brothers, if not include a mortal Fujin. Have Kung Lao be the new era's Fujin then. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Test your might.
Oh, whoops. Oh, jeez, I messed up.
You never had a chance.
Okay, so about your point about Fujin, I think that would be cool. I think maybe they already hinting to Fujin. Maybe Fujin is just a gender bender of like maybe they gender bendered Fujin because they keep talking about Raiden's sister and how cool Raiden's sister is and how skilled Raiden's sister is. So I always thought that Raiden's sister is just a female version of Fujin. I don't know what the name would be, but that was my thought process. And I thought that we would eventually get to see Raiden's sister, possibly, if not this game, then the next game that has, you know, the new era. Even though it doesn't look like that might be the case anymore. I don't think we're gonna be getting the new era after this. I think they're just gonna go back to like Liu Kang is just gonna wake up at the end of 11 and all of MK1 was just a dream, or it was just like a possible timeline that he tried, because you know how Liu Kang said that he tried crafting stuff a bunch of times and then he finally got it right with the new era. They're gonna say something like, oh yeah, MK1, that was just one thing that he tried and he just restarted time because it sucked. He's gonna be like Chronica. He's gonna be like, yeah, this is garbage. We're gonna restart time. Let me use up some of this stuff. But yeah, I don't think we're really gonna get any answers to. Yes. I don't think we're gonna get answers to a lot of these questions that they planted for this story, just because people don't like it so much. People don't like the cameos, and I feel like it's not about the cameos. It's about how the cameos were implemented. But I feel like cameos in and of themselves are not a bad thing. People just can't get around the idea of seeing another person on the screen. Like, so for example, when I do this with Kano, I think of it as just my character now has the ability to shoot a laser. But everyone else just can't get over the idea that they see Sub-Zero come out and do that, or they see Kano come out and do that, and I don't understand why that makes the game less fun, because the animation is another character. But because people are just so like set on the idea of we don't want to see it be more than one person. Ooh. Oh, I blocked low, but I didn't have enough health. Because they just can't get over the idea that the animation is another person coming out to help. They just think that that cameos suck. And cameos, when they implemented it, they did not implement it correctly at first. We saw Cyrax everywhere at first, and we saw Kung Lao everywhere. Then we saw Striker everywhere. And it took a while to get to a place where multiple cameos are good. And you don't just have to play the same style cameo to win. Oh, support, you say, or ultimate plot twist, Kronika was alive the entire time, and possibly allowed Liu Kang and Shang Tsung to kill her, to teach them a lesson on why being Keeper of Time is difficult. I can dig that. Now, the major issue there is that Kronika is alive, and people hate Kronika. I'm kind of what's the word I'm looking for here? I want to say it's because a lot of people just don't want to see a woman be the most powerful. But I think the way they implemented Kronika wasn't that great either. Like, jeez, why is this so difficult? Like, I feel like a lot of times Kronika is shown to be overly powerful, and in those cases, then why doesn't she just win? Like when she captured Liu Kang in the story mode. And also, I feel like they didn't really give her any wins. I feel like there should have been scenes where Kronika had to fight. And I don't mean just fly above someone and just do some time magic. I mean, have her fight and do some cool fighting and win. And I feel like that would have gone a long way as far as people liking the character. You got to do that with any bad guy. You have to show that they're a threat, and you have to make it somewhat likable. And I feel like they just didn't with Kronika. Oh, I blocked too late. But I like the idea that Kronika is still alive somewhere, and just taunting Liu Kang and Shao. But I don't think they'll ever return to Kronika, just because, again, it's just way too unlikable. People don't like that character. I mean, certain things I feel like we'll never see again. Kronika, I don't think we'll ever get another gender bender character. I think that's done. I think we'll never get cameos again. I think the whole experiment with cameos, that's dead. We're just gonna get one-on-one Mortal Kombat with Shang Tsung or Shao Kahn as the villain, and nothing else. Maybe Onaga. We might get Onaga because people like him. But other than that, I feel like that's the lesson NetherRealm is gonna learn. Just go back to the old faithful. To be honest, what messed up the MK timeline was including Titans, when the lore already established the Elder Gods and the One Being as the only entities in existence. I mean, I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like they've always established another level. So first there were gods. First it was just Raiden as a god, and then we got the Elder Gods. Then we got the One Being. So I mean, I'm okay with Titans being a thing. I don't think it really messes up the lore, especially when we had MK4 and we established that. So we established that gods you can just beat up a god, right? Like Johnny Cage can just punch a god in the face, right? And then you're like, okay, I mean, gods, they have special abilities, but you can fight them like regular people. And then we got MK4, and then we found out that Elder Gods are the same way. You can just kind of punch them in the face. So, with Shinnok, so with that being said, it leaves it open to create another level, and then, I guess Titans, you can just punch them in the face too. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be another level of deity or whatever. But I think that the Titans are they're a representation of the fans, which is why I'm okay with the idea of Titans, and I'll explain what I mean in a second. But first, let me read your comment. It says, Frost, when she was first introduced in MK Deadly Alliance, was a gender-bent Sub-Zero done right. What do you mean by done right? What does that mean? Because I feel like, I remember when Frost came out, people did not like Frost. she So when you say done right, I mean, she didn't really have a lot of agency. She didn't, and I feel like maybe that's what you mean by done right, because it feels like there's a certain demographic of the Mortal Kombat player base that does not like, this is gonna sound really bad, but a lot of them do not like women to be powerful, or have a lot of agency. So when you got Cassie Cage in MKX, they didn't like that because why is Cassie the one to win at the end and not someone that I already know? Or if sometimes they don't like when the character is not very important. So you have characters like Kira, right? Who was also not very highly received because she didn't have any importance in the story. So I feel like you can't win, I feel like. I mean, in gameplay, she was a female Sub-Zero, but at least she ultimately had her own identity and personality, not the same character with just same name, just gender swapped. I guess, but I mean, like I said, people didn't like Frost when it was new. People did not really like Frost. I feel like Frost had to go away and then become nostalgic, and then the people who played Deadly Alliance when they were younger, like younger than I was when I played Deadly Alliance, they became nostalgic for a lot of those characters, which is what you're seeing in this game, where a lot of the 3D characters that maybe a lot of the original fans didn't like, but the kids who played the 3D games who are now adults, they're nostalgic for it, so they kind of like those characters. But yeah, when Frost was new, back in the on the forums and stuff like that, people did not like her. A lot of them still don't like Frost now, especially at MK11. That's a good point. Yeah, people did not like her at MK11 either. And which, I don't. Here's my thing. It's easy to criticize something like that. It's easy to criticize, like, oh, you're just gonna gender swap the robots, right? But here's what I know just by trying it. Writing a story is hard. Is really hard. Writing characters is really hard, especially something that you think people are gonna like, and then they don't for whatever reason. Trying to get a personality down and a character with motives and personality and whatnot, that it's really hard. And tying that all into a story, it's really hard. And then especially in a video game where you want to represent a certain style, a certain play style. So my guess is NetherRealm wanted to represent Sector and Cyrax, that play style, like the bomb setups and the projectile stuff. So they wanted to do that. They also want the world to seem like a brand new world, right? And they need characters that kind of fit into the story. And they want like a love interest for Bihan. And they want like a semi-love triangle for Kuai Liang. How do you satisfy all of those things? And I feel like that was a good way to satisfy all of those things. But, people are just gonna say like, well, just create a new character and have that new character have that play style, and then be that plot point, or be able to fit into that need in the story. But people don't like new characters. I feel like a lot, whenever you introduce a new character, look at what they did. Look at Devora. People hate Devora, even though I feel like she's a great villain. She's probably one of the best villains in Mortal Kombat. But you create a new character, especially a woman, and you give them importance in the story, and you make them powerful and relevant, and people hate that character. So I feel like there's just, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I never had a problem with Frost in Deadly Alliance, honestly. I mean, we had female characters in MK since the original game. Don't understand the issue. I don't understand the issue either. And I mean, so personally, would I have gender bent Sector and Cyrax? I personally would not have done that. I don't think it was a smart move, but I can understand why they possibly wanted to do that. They wanted to make the world feel like a brand new world, where things are different and things are shaken up. They wanted to introduce love interests for Bihan and Kuai Liang. They wanted that playstyle represented in the game. And I mean, I feel like doing that kind of checked all the boxes. But, I guess they didn't anticipate that people would be so like, I don't know, so much of a traditionalist, where they don't want to see. I think that's the main thing. People don't want to see things change, because so many people are like, bring back Hanzo as Scorpion. We know we're gonna get back Hanzo as Scorpion. Things will reset to the way they were. That's gonna happen. but they don't want to wait. They're like, a lot of people are genuinely upset that Kuai Liang is Scorpion. Support, you say. I didn't hate Devora as much, I thought. Thinking back on it, I just hated what she did to Hanzo in 11. Exactly my point. So you make this character relevant, right? Like, okay, how can we make this character a threat, a genuine threat, a danger? And I think they did a great job of doing that. She killed Baraka, she killed Melina, and she killed Scorpion, but she killed the Scorpion that I feel like the players didn't really want, right? So what I meant by Titans kind of being an extension of the players is, I don't know if you remember Scorpion's ending in MK11, about how the Titans were specifically in every timeline making sure that his family died, right? They all like they had a vendetta against him to make sure that he wasn't happy. And it kind of reminds me of I don't know if you've ever seen Cabin in the Woods, where the the gods of that world have to be satisfied in a very specific way, and then if they are satisfied, then the universe remains, essentially. But if they're not satisfied, then they rise up, and then the world ends, essentially. And that was a commentary on horror fans. If your horror movie did not work, did not do certain things, if you didn't have the final girl, if you didn't have X, Y, and Z happen, then the fans would revolt and your movie wouldn't get a sequel, ergo ending the universe. Excuse me, sorry about that. However, so I feel like the Titans are that way too. The Titans want to make sure Scorpion has a family, that family dies, and he becomes that angry, rage-filled ninja specter, because that's what the fans want him to be. They don't want. I feel like the fans don't really want a happy Scorpion. They don't want a happy Wolverine. They want a Wolverine that's has his memory loss and is a killing machine. And I feel like that's how the fans want Scorpion to be. They want Scorpion to be that angry character always. And him getting peace, I don't think many people are interested in having a Scorpion who is content and at peace. So, going back to Devora, you want Devora to be a threat. You want her to kill a bunch of characters. She killed Scorpion, but she killed the kind Scorpion who was a nice guy. And left the Ninja Spectre Scorpion. Because that's really the Scorpion that everyone wants, is that guy. They don't really want Grandmaster Hasashi. Even though Grandmaster Hasashi was so cool. But it's different. It's not the Scorpion they grew up with. Which is cool. I mean, Scorpion is a cool character. The Ninja Spectre is so iconic. But you know, it's change, and I feel like not just Mortal Kombat fans, but I feel fans of any franchise don't really want change. They just want a different version of the same thing. Not gonna lie, I had mixed feelings on Kuai Liang being Scorpion in MK1. I felt like Scorpion being brothers with Sub-Zero was fine if Hanzo was adopted or something. Not Kuai Liang. But then I got used to it. Yeah, and that's understandable. I feel like most people felt that way. They don't want Excuse me. I think most people felt that way. It was they don't want that character to change. They don't want any character to change. They want, and you know what? I'm guilty of some of this stuff too, of being a traditionalist, or some people say a purist. But the thing is, like, then you can the story remains stagnant that way, and I feel like, especially for something like this where we know for certain between this game, probably this game or the next two games, we know things are going to go back to the way they were. So just let them tell a different story. Let it be different. Like, let the robots be girls, and let Hanzo not be Scorpion for 3 games. Like, we've had decades of the same thing. Let it be different for 3 games, and then it'll go back to how it was. But that's enough for people to be angry. So people are gonna be angry, and then I fear that NetherRealm is gonna take that as, don't take any more risks. And if you don't take any more risks, what happens? The story just stays the same. It's almost like and I make this analogy a lot, but the difference between manga and comics. Do I have that? No, I don't. Jeez Louise. Okay. The difference between manga and comics. Manga. Oh, still gotta get used to seeing Kid Hanzo and Harumi not being his wife and quietly eggs. Yeah. But when you see, like, so for example, I used to read Dragon Ball growing up, and just being able to see like Gohan grow up with me was pretty cool. Gohan started as a kid, then you see Teen Gohan, then you get Gohan in high school, then you get adult Gohan, and just seeing his progression is pretty cool. You see Goku's progression. You see him go from a kid to essentially getting a girlfriend, to getting married, to having kids of his own, to becoming a grandfather, and you get to see that progression. Whereas with American storytelling, when you have American comics, Spider-Man is always a high schooler or college student or a young adult, like right around that age. Batman is always in his mid-30s. Like, we always gotta... He's been in his mid-30s for decades. Like, we cannot... Sure, there's some stories where it's like, all right, what happens if Batman's an old man? Like, The Dark Knight, or... The Dark Knight Returns, or Batman Beyond. We get glimpses of that kind of stuff. But we always go back to Batman being a 30-something-year-old man. Like, American storytelling, we just can't move on. We can't really do anything too different. We got to go back to the way it was. And I feel like that's what MK is learning. You can't do anything different. Just tell the same story. Have Liu Kang be champion again. Have Shao Kahn invade Earth again. Just do all the same stuff, because it's essentially American audiences just want the same stuff over and over again. And it's a shame, but they'll sell. I'm sure they'll sell a ton more games if they just do the same old story. I don't know where to go. I'm trying to find a spot that I haven't done to find this stupid thing. Batman the same age since 1930. That's what I'm saying. We can't move on from like Batman growing old and dying, and then like having Damian be Batman would be sacrilege. Like you could not do that in a story. Maybe in a standalone single story, But just now, this is the story. This is the main story that Bruce Wayne is dead. Never ever would they allow something like that. Fans would revolt. And I feel like that's similar to Hanzo Hasashi not being Scorpion. People got pissed. Sector and Cyrax are women? What? No. Sacrilege. You can't do that. Which, I mean, it's. I just feel like we're just gonna get, we're just gonna get the same old stuff, because the same old stuff works. But the thing is, I want Mortal Kombat to be successful. So, if I were in the writing room, I would tell them that. I would be like, yeah, just do the same stuff. Because if the game is successful, then I know that we're gonna get another game, and I know it's gonna be supported, and they're just gonna get a bigger budget, and the games are gonna be better. The story will be stale, but at least the games will. At least I know we're gonna be getting another game, and the other game will be supported. So, it's super annoying, but I think that's the right way to go. And speaking of the right way to go, I don't know what the right way to go is. I don't know where I'm going in this. Where am I supposed to get this key? Oh, isn't there a map? I forgot that there's a map. What am I missing? I don't even know how you get regular keys in this. Hold on. If I'm not... The way I'm facing, I go the opposite way, and then down, and there's a store. No, how'd I go here? This way. Oh, whoops. Okay. But yeah, but we'll see what they do. If we're just gonna get another game, or I know Headlock Gaming has said that he had a I can't even talk. Headlock Gaming had a theory. And his theory is that the leak was a fake leak, so that they could find out who Fate Unknown was, Game of Thrones style. Like they fed the person a fake leak, and then based on whatever that leak was, they would be able to know who the leaker was, and finally fire that person. So he thinks that maybe something like that is going on, and they're actually going to continue supporting MK1 because of what WB has said. They said that Mortal Kombat is one of their cornerstones as far as what they're going to focus on. So why would they cut funding to one of the only things that is cutting a profit for them? Unless, of course, Chaos Reigns did not cut a profit. So that's another big thing, is that they said that apparently Chaos Reigns did not sell well. And if that's the case, then I could possibly see WB wanting to cut the, just pull the plug. In Shaolin Monks, Raiden mentions Outworld being a realm of beauty and peace before Shao Kahn took over. In MK1, Outworld is more like Edenia / Earth, like realm, than the amalgamation of chaos and violence. Yeah, and I feel like Liu Kang did that because, well, for one, there weren't any other realms that merged with Outworld and MK1, so it was just the pure Outworld. But Outworld is essentially Edenia. Outworld and MK1 is essentially what Edenia was. However, I feel like he made certain things different. He took the wants of some of the past characters into account. So, for example, I believe it's the MK11 ending for Kitana where she goes back to Edenia, but then she realizes that a lot of the traditions and stuff she grew up with were different from Outworld. And that even though she is an Edenian in spirit, she's an Outworlder. So I feel like Liu Kang, essentially knowing everything, he just made, instead of making it Edenia, he made it Outworld, but it's a beautiful Outworld that is more similar to Edenia. That's just a theory, though. That's just, there's nothing supporting that. Where am I going? Have I done that? Okay, let's try this time thing. Optional. But I mean, I think the major thing is that destroy bricks using a metal. It's not meat. Okay, by attacking it. But I think the okay. Odd. But I think the major thing is that there wasn't anything. There weren't any other realms merged with Outworld, which is why it just looks the way it does. That's a strange minigame.
Ghostface wins.
So, before I call it quits, I'm interested in knowing from you. Oh, I mean, in MK1, Reptile and Chameleon, before living Outworld, and no mention the realm of Zatera, and their species is still alive. Is that true? Both live in Outworld, my bad. Interesting. No, well, Reptile does talk about his race, but are they in Outworld? I think maybe you're right. I don't remember. The Zaterans live in Outworld. Yeah, I don't think they have their own realm. So I think you're correct there. They're just Outworlders. But they're a different race. You know what's interesting is Baraka calls himself an Edenian in MK1. So there are Edenians, and then there are also Zaterans that live in Outworld, it seems like. So Outworld is kind of like a United Nations almost, or like where many different cultures live in Outworld. And clearly that's the case because they have the Centaurs and they have the Shokan also in Outworld. So, but I'm guessing that these weren't just realms conquered and merged into Outworld. These are just different races that just happen to live there now, which is an interesting way to kind of present that realm. Okay, but with that, we've been on for about an hour. I'm going to call it quits. I'm an old man and I got to go work tomorrow. But most likely I'm going to be on tomorrow. And if you want to actually play, we can do a King of the Hill and play some matches instead of just watching me do invasions. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Oh, hold on. He just said, in Reptile's ending, he finds out other members of his species can shapeshift and turn invisible like him. Yes, yeah, he at first thought that that he was the only like mutant of his race that could transform. But yeah, he finds out that there's others, but then someone is killing them, something like that. Yeah, but I think you're absolutely right, though. They are all in Outworld. Like, that's their home realm instead of having their own realm of Zatera. Yeah, it's been an hour, sir. It's been... it just flew by. Look, thank you for coming by and talking. I really appreciate it. It was a really good conversation. If you ever want to do a conversation where we actually speak, I do have a Discord. The Discord should be in the description in my link tree. If that's something you want to do, I'm totally down for that as well, where we can talk on Discord. If not, we can talk on Discord. We can play a King of the Hill. We can do one or the other, or we can continue doing stuff like this. Either one is completely fine with me. But either way, I do have to get going. Thank you again. As always, time is our most valuable asset. So, thank you so much for spending an hour of your time here with me tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Do me a favor. Don't get beat up out there, you guys. Peace.